Hump Day. Time for Random Rambling Wednesdays.
And new comic books.
It is new comic books. I feel like the worst comic book collector ever. I hadn't even been over there yet to get my comics.
Well, to be fair, I don't think the owner's there yet, so.
But I mean, that usually does not matter.
Yeah, I mean, you just jimmy the door.
Did I mention I haven't paid for comics in the last 5 years?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, unfortunately. I've been trying to cut back, actually, because I spend too much on comics. But in comparison to this man across from me, Mr. JP, there really is no comparison.
I'm trying to cut back, but man, just so much good stuff coming out. It's hard.
So much good stuff, but so much crap stuff too, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of crap coming out.
I try to steer away from the garbage, but
I did too. If you just randomly found us on the internet, we are the Podcasting Dead. Sorry that we just start off talking like you know who we are, but we have a channel where we talk about a couple of different things. A lot of it is around The Walking Dead. We kind of review the show. We talk about the comics, just all kinds of Walking Dead related things, but we are trying to stray away. We got a little conspiracy thing starting up. We kind of already did like a little sample of that. But this is the podcast once a week where we just talk about whatever. We're just kicking it with our listeners, except for they can't talk. It's like hanging out with your friends if your mouth was duct taped and only two of your friends could talk. But it's like that, you know.
I've been in those situations. Who hasn't?
Right?
Yeah.
It was really weird, though. That was the first time we met, too.
Yeah, I was going to say, I had the gag ball in. It was, It was
an odd time to be alive.
Meet someone in a dungeon. Things happen. I mean, look.
But so this is just the one podcast. We usually try to keep it fairly clean cut. We don't really.
You already say we try to keep it kinky. I was going to say, well, yeah, all right.
But so language warning, content warning. Who knows where this one will go? We talk about whatever. I think last week somehow we talked about everything from masturbation to aliens to conspiracies to masturbation at another point.
I wonder if aliens even have to do that. They seem so androgynous.
They don't seem like they don't have any
like
extremities,
no nipples or anything.
Maybe
God, can you imagine not having nipples?
And a lot of people say they speak telepathically too, so it's like they've evolved well beyond anything that we could imagine.
That's why they get them big old heads.
Do you think that aliens are us from the future?
You know, I often wonder that if they're not like interplanetary travelers. You know, if it's a interdimensional thing,
right?
Yeah, or like you said, maybe, that's what we eventually evolve into. Yeah.
Maybe they're trying to steer us a certain way. I don't know. Maybe there's, we think they're all advanced and special, but maybe they messed up somewhere along the line, and that's why they're coming back and abducting us and doing these things, trying to steer us in a different direction, perhaps. Or maybe maybe there was a mutation in the genes that kicked off this big-headed hyper-intelligence, but they got tired of not having any weenies or hoo-has, and they were like, hey, we're going to experiment on people till we can figure out when this gene starts and reverse it.
It really makes you think, I mean, can you go back in time and change your destiny? Do you just create an alternate timeline? Does it just loop around like in 12 Monkeys and what happened already happened, whether it came from the future or not?
I love a good paradox, man. Just get your brain thinking. I really want to get back into, I used to be really into philosophy, not in a pretentious way, but I just used to love, I didn't get these exquisitely written, but I got like philosophy for dummies and, 500 things, if you're kind of into philosophy, but I really, really enjoyed it because it just taught you to think of things so many different ways, and nothing's better than a good paradox to make you look at things from different angles. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Different outcomes. But yeah, so if you randomly found us on the internet, I don't know how that happened, but I'm glad you did. Feel free to subscribe. If you've made it this far, I hate to say it, you don't hate us that much.
No, just click that button. Nothing could feel any better. Well, I mean, there's some things that would definitely feel a lot better,
I can think of at least 4.
Yeah. I got 4 of them on me, right? Well, yeah, but yeah, you should still click it. It'll still feel good.
Which you have on you or the subscribe button?
Either or.
Either or.
Push either or, twist whatever knob you want to twist.
Oh, so how's your week been, JP? Since the last time we spoke, we didn't podcast on Friday. I think our last podcast was just Thursday with the Mail Call podcast. We hadn't really had much in the way of content. We're sorry. It's been weather and Christmas and New Year's. And I mean, just this morning, you should see us. We're dressed all fancy. We were at this really snazzy Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, yeah.
Business breakfast thing. So, I mean, we stay on the go. We both do sales and radio as well, so we're constantly on the move. So we apologize. We do have a lot of content we want to get to you. So what have you been up to? You got some issues happening at the moment that I don't know if you want to talk about.
Yeah, lots of stuff. My most recent companion, she's chills at the house maybe a night or so a week, give or take. And she also
all
has,
weekend.
Sometimes, conflicting work schedule. She actually lives an hour up the road, and I don't know. She might not be going home to the best situation. I don't know. It's a scandal in progress.
So her boyfriend found out she's been staying with you.
Boyfriend, not for a long time, but they still live together because of lease and all this stuff. And I don't know. 8 months or so ago, my something may have poisoned their relationship a little bit. It was no fault of mine. I mean, look.
You were just the guy slinging the dong, right?
I mean, look, you work with someone for X amount of months, almost a year. You get close. You hang out just for fun, and sometimes, people get naked and savage stuff happens. I've
been working with you for like 2 years. What are you trying to say?
I mean, look, brother. I mean, just brace yourself for the storm. That's all.
Dear God.
That's all.
Dear God in heaven.
So, yeah, she woke up to some very hostile messages this morning, and
I could imagine dudes doing my girlfriend. I'm not too happy about it.
Look, from what I understand, it's, They're strictly platonic now, but I don't know. Maybe she wants to be more platonic than he does. What are you going to do?
Which, I mean, to your credit, she did put single on her Facebook, you said, right?
Yeah,
so, I mean, it wasn't
I think he's the one kind of like holding out hope and trying to rekindle and stoke, but...
Right.
Then, someone doesn't come home, and I don't know if he called. I don't know. I don't know all the details.
We're going to keep you up to date with this situation as the weeks move on.
Find out some details, and, maybe stay in a hotel for a few nights.
Or you just crash at the station.
Yeah, there's that, too.
Just know if you don't hear JP on the Mail Call podcast tomorrow, that means he got his ass beat.
Could be.
Maybe even killed.
I know he, has or more firearms. I'm unarmed at the moment, except for my nunchucks.
You used to have two really cool. I used to love that little Ruger 22 that you had.
Yeah, sold that. My shotgun got stolen.
That Browning 12 gauge you had. That thing was a sweet shooter.
Yeah, it was. So honestly, I'm gonna go home and get the skinny.
Get the old bow and arrow.
Yeah, do something, brother. And it's not the first time I've been in this situation exactly.
I believe you. I believe that you already have a plan, I'm sure.
Yeah, I do have contingencies for this. I just got to figure out which file to pull out and what
So you're like the Batman of the sexual world.
I mean, look,
you've got contingencies on all of your constituents.
You've got to, absolutely. Man, eventually you're gonna have to go back in the bunker. You dread when it actually happens.
Right.
You're just like, oh man, back to the flour mill, Pappy.
Moving away from JP's troubled sexual life, I have fallen in love with yet another show.
Oh, what are you watching?
I'm now watching Vikings. It took forever, and I always knew I would like it because I've always wanted to, but it wasn't on Netflix, and I don't Hulu. My Roku box that I use, and then my DVD player, and they're so slow. Like Hulu is not like Netflix. It's so slow for me, and I hate it. And I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Hulu. I really don't care to use it. I don't know if it's just a user interface. I don't know what it is. I'm not a big fan of Hulu. But so I thought it was just on Hulu, but then I realized, wait a minute, we have Amazon Prime, and my girlfriend has Prime Video or whatever. So I was like, I can watch it on that.
Bam.
And so I've been watching it on that. I just watched The Last Kingdom, like last month. I was praising that, which, by the way, that is on Netflix, and it's a wonderful show. Highly recommend it. But this takes place, it's based off of some of the same characters, but completely different story. You've got Ragnar is in both shows. Now, he's not the same actor. And like I said, he's not even really the same character, but he's based off the same historical figure. King Alfred But Vikings is a little bit better. I hate to admit it. I thought The Last Kingdom was a shiznit. For the first season of Vikings, I was like, this is good, but I like Last Kingdom better. Vikings is where it's at, man. If you've thought about watching that show, go watch it. It's so awesome, dude. It's got some of the best twists that you never see coming that I've seen in a long while on a show.
Yeah, that's one like you. I was like, man, I should give that a try, but just never did.
Yeah, it's not that I didn't ever want to. I know I'm late to the party. I always thought, man, because I love things like that, Vikings and fighting, and but I was just like, I don't know, man. I just hadn't had a chance to get to it, and I'm so glad I did. I'm halfway through season 4 now, and it's just, this is an intense season too. So, JP, listeners, I highly recommend check that show out if you haven't already.
I'm pretty thin on new stuff to watch lately.
It's savage, dude.
Yeah.
It's savage. It's like Ragnar. I think you'll really like Ragnar, man, because he even gets addicted to a drug at one point.
Ooh,
and goes savage.
What would it like some kind of like opium based?
I don't know. It's a
hallucinogen maybe.
It's somewhat.
It has to be plant based. I would.
It is a plant based. It's this gal from Asia that which I ain't gonna spoil too much. Slight spoilers, but this is very itty bitty teeny tiny spoilers. But they end up. She ends up being one of their slaves or servants, more or less, and he's in pain from battle, and she's like, "Oh, well, I've got medicine that'll help you." And then when they take this medicine, man, he just like trips balls. He's climbing on the ceilings.
That sounds awesome.
But he's JP. I think that you will really appreciate the character of Ragnar. He's awesome. Probably one of the best lead characters in a show. I think he's kind of like Rick Grimes. Plus, you know what I mean? He's savage.
So it's kind of like if Rick and Merle merged into one character.
That is a good, yes, just kind like slightly less racism, but yeah, somewhere in that neighborhood.
I guess like that time period in Europe, there wasn't that many people to be racist against.
No,
white people.
Yeah, basically, we're right. A bunch of pasty white people killing each other for land. Yeah. It's just one group of white people hated the other group of white people, which when you think about it, that's the beauty of this show. The Vikings are the bad guys. They truly are. You have all these kingdoms and and again, this is a slight spoiler, but this isn't big for the plot. The first thing they raid is like a Christian monastery.
Right.
These are unarmed popes and well, not popes, but monks and stuff. And they're just gutting them and killing them and stealing their stuff, and yet you root for them. That's just good storytelling, Just
like The Sopranos. They're not nice people, but you love them. You don't want to see anything bad happen to Tony.
Yep, that's exactly and like I said, man, Floki is a good character. He actually is on Westworld. He plays like that head agent in season 2. I don't want to spoil much for the people that haven't seen Westworld.
I can't.
He's the real tall, lanky guy. But anyways, he's the one that takes over operations once things have happened.
Gotcha.
Completely different character, man. But he's actually Bill Skarsgård's brother, the one that played Pennywise in the new It.
I still got to watch that.
You haven't seen that?
I still haven't watched it.
But yeah, Vikings, man, I love it. I wish we could have jumped on that. That'd be a great show. We have so much to talk about. It's kind of like Game of Thrones in the sense of it does a wonderful job of flashing between multiple stories to keep you interested.
Well, speaking of podcasting on new stuff, maybe we can jump in on the Punisher next week. When does that drop?
Yes.
Does that drop Friday, maybe?
I have to check, but yes, JP, that was JP's idea too. I was so proud. I'm like a proud papa when he texts me and it's like, hey man, we should podcast about so-and-so. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, man. Sad to say it. I guess it will be the last season of that.
Yeah. What I think is that and Daredevil are pretty close, but I think The Punisher is my favorite show, Marvel Netflix show, and then The Punisher. Like I said, Punisher season 2, man, is just bravo, and season 3 was really good.
Daredevil season 2?
Daredevil, sorry, Daredevil season 2 was phenomenal, and season 3 was really good. But I still think The Punisher just pulls ahead just a little bit because it just keeps me locked in.
The fact that like they brought in Bullseye season 3 of Daredevil, and we're not going to get to actually see him being Bullseye, man, that sucks.
Such an infamous villain.
Sucks. But
yeah, I read something about they have like a 2-year contract or something, and then there's a possibility they could be revamped or carried on or whatever. But I heard Jessica Jones. I heard what's her name? Is it Christine?
If you hadn't asked, man, I could have told you.
something. She was Jesse's girlfriend that OD'd on Breaking Bad. But anyway, I heard she was leaving the show. Anyways, somebody told me that. I don't know who said that, but somebody had told me. Didn't they? Had they done a Jessica Jones season 3?
I think we are going to get it before Netflix, kicks out all.
Because that hadn't been axed yet either, right? I mean, Daredevil's been axed, Luke Cage, Iron Fist.
Yeah, I think we're going to get. I think that'll probably be the swan song. Is Jessica Jones season 3.
I really like Jessica Jones, and a lot of people said they hated season 2. But I really dug season 2.
I haven't finished it yet. I liked it as I was watching it, but then just got distracted.
Yeah, you got another super powered Jessica Jones type person running around there. It's awesome, man.
Yeah,
so yeah, it's a great season.
I love the casting. It's a solid show.
Have you seen Daredevil season 3 yet?
Yeah, I've watched that.
What I like, have you? And this isn't a huge spoiler. We're just conversating, I guess. But have you seen Jessica Jones with the whole Man in Purple, where she kind of talks to him and sees him?
No.
Okay, well, that's not a big spoiler, but that seems to be a theme in the Marvel shows. You notice, the Daredevil spent a lot of time talking to William Fisk in his head.
Yeah. And
Jessica Jones does the same thing with the Purple Man. Mm-hmm. So kind of a theme there between the two. It'd be interesting to see if we see any of that in the Punisher. Perhaps there's, somebody in his head he's talking to.
Yeah, I don't know. Who would
What's in your head?
To?
In your head. Zombie.
Oh, geez. What's happening?
I'm singing to you.
Being transported back to the 90s.
Oh, man. But yeah, so I don't know, man. But yeah, Vikings, dude, bravo. Awesome show. I really... It isn't Game of Thrones level great, but it is. If you're a big Game of Thrones fan, or I'm trying to think of another good show. But if you're a big Game of Thrones fan, Vikings is definitely something that can hold you over. Speaking of which, we're going to definitely podcast about the last season of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, we got to.
We're going to get our asses tore up online because we tried podcasting very briefly about that, and The Walking Dead's one thing, man, but there is so much history to that show that's easy to forget, and character names and just all of these hard to pronounce things. And but we don't care. We're going to get dogged, but we're going to do it.
Yeah, I screw up names on The Walking Dead, so the Game of Thrones, no chance.
And I screw up names in real life.
Yeah,
it's really awkward when I get home from work sometimes. My girlfriend doesn't appreciate it, but I'm really bad with names. So show or not. Yeah, I'm going to be like, that tall chick with the blonde hair, what's her name, Bran?
Yeah, we'll try to print out a character list or something. We have to do something, stay on track.
Yeah.
But I'm super stoked, man.
I'm so nervous. Have you seen some of the newer trailers?
I haven't watched any trailers.
Well, this one doesn't actually contain. JP actually loves to be as spoiler free as he can be.
Yeah,
he doesn't even really care for trailers.
I really, really do. I know there's what's there a trailer out for right now? I don't know, but yeah, I try to avoid them.
But this is cool, and this isn't actual showing anything happening. It's just like a promotional thing, but it shows like Jon Snow and Sansa and Arya. They're walking down the tombs, where their family's buried, and you see like their mom, you see Ned Stark's tomb. They get to the very end, and it's their 3 tombs, and they're kind of like, what the hell? And all of a sudden, like the lights, candles go out, and you start seeing ice filling the thing, and they turn around, and I get goosebumps thinking about that. And Jon and Arya pull out their swords. Of course, Sansa just kind of steps behind them, like, oh, I don't fight. I'm here. I'm here to piss you off and move the plot a little bit, but I don't actually do anything to contribute to protecting the realms. But yeah, so I am and I love Sophie Turner. So for those Sansa fans out there, don't kill me. I'm just saying. But I do. I am so excited, man. I think Game of Thrones is. Lost is my favorite show ever. Not that it's the greatest written show, but it's still one of my favorites. But Game of Thrones, man, is right there with it.
It's hard to top it, yeah.
It's really so masterfully written. I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Not looking forward to it ending, but we've got basically 6 little mini movies. I watched where they were talking to somebody over at HBO was reading an article where they had interviewed, it's one of the higher execs there, and he said that he had watched all 6 without CGI. Mm-hmm. And said even without CGI, they're 6 little movies, and that they're amazing. That they give closure to some characters, a lot of twists and turns you don't see coming, and I'm excited. Can we just fast forward to April?
Yeah, they're already in pre-production for for whatever the prequel series is going to be.
Vikings is going that route too. Oh, Vikings is getting canceled after this season coming out. I guess season 6 or 5. whatever, they're getting canned, and they're going to actually, though, they're doing a couple of spinoff series. So I will definitely be watching those. Like I said, man, Vikings, if you get a chance, if you have Amazon Prime, if you have Hulu, or you can watch it for free on the History Channel. Okay. It's just a ton of freaking ads. But I'm telling you, man, get on your Vikings. That is a great show, man. Ragnar, the lead, is just so good. And then you got Floki is a great character. Not Loki. Floki.
Floki. All right.
Rollo is a bastard. Just say that. You got Bjorn. You ever seen what is it? Grown Ups 2?
No.
I hate those movies. I think they suck. But I somehow got roped into going to the first one. I laughed like twice. So for some reason, my friends were like, let's go see the second one. And I'm like, whatever, man. So I went and saw the second one. I don't think I laughed. I really just don't. I think those movies suck so bad. But anyways, Bjorn is the first son of Ragnar in this show. And he actually was in Grown Ups too. Mm-hmm. If you've ever watched that, he was like he was David Spade's son. He was this big beefy kid that was just a beast. I think he wanted to beat David Spade up or something. It's been a while since I saw that, and to be honest, I don't really pay. I was probably on Facebook or something while the movie was happening. But yeah, dude, Vikings. Sorry. Hate to quit going back. I can't stand to rant on it too much, but it's so good.
No, man, I love being like knee deep in a new series, and you're
just loving it.
Can't wait to get home and dive back in, man. It's a beautiful.
I believe if you get into Vikings, dude, it'll do that for you. Yeah. Lagatha, man, gosh, like my new dream girl. Mm-hmm. That's Ragnar's woman. She is. Oh man, and when like sometimes you'll have these shows where it's like Lagatha is like Michonne badass. I actually think Lagatha would hand Michonne her ass. Huh. Lagatha is just a badass, man. Like just not even in the capacity of she's badass. No, she's just badass. Like she'll take anybody. And I actually read she was like a black belt in Taekwondo in real life. So not only is her character badass, but she is badass.
Yeah, that's cool.
So what you got going on? I've talked long enough. Sorry, folks, when I get excited about a new show, man.
It's understandable. No, man, nothing new under the sun. Just out here trying to be savage, trying to, do what I can to leave the world a little bit better than how I left it, and gonna go home and see, if I need to
have a home,
lamb it for a little while. Yeah,
say go home and see if you have a home.
yeah. See if I got to lamb chop it for a little while. It does. Sometimes it's got to go down like that.
I love that you're talking about this like you have no control over the situation, like it can't simply be solved by just not messing with other people's women.
Yeah, I mean, look, brother.
Like you just act like you're talking like it's a burden that's been bestowed upon you by the gods, and it's just like, well, that's just how it is sometimes.
I take my pleasures where I find them, and that's it.
Man.
It's not my fault there's so many people out here who are unsatisfied by their partners, and I'm really just I'm an angel of mercy.
Yeah,
that's all.
Hey, there's kind of that in Vikings.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I don't want to spoil it because that is kind of a big plot point at the current moment of where I am at in the show. But yeah, there's a guy there who pretty much says like, I bang women to free them of their their fears and their demons and their like this guy would be you. Except for I don't know if you can heal people, but
well,
you can heal women, right?
We'll see.
Oh man! But, so y'all pray for my boy here, man, or meditate, or whatever it is you do. Send him some good vibes because he might have him a big old ass kicking on the way.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
If you need some backup, man, call me. But if it's after 9, maybe just stall him until about 7 the next morning, stall him until about 6. I could be up here around 6, but I got to get some sleep. But if you need some backup, you just call me.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
But we'll see. We'll keep you updated with this story as it develops.
Sometimes you got to go out here. You got to stab somebody in the eye. I mean,
please don't stab anybody in the eye.
I'm just saying, man. We're savage out here, and that's all we can do.
We are savage, but only when we have to be.
Yeah, what I mean? Like maybe an opportunity where I have to be savage.
You've been banging my girlfriend,
so we will see.
My eye. Please don't stab anybody in the eye tonight. I don't feel like having to go to HR and filling out
Well, it won't
this.
happen on company property. Don't worry.
Yeah, but even if it doesn't, if it's in the newspaper, then that'll probably affect. Considering you are a public figure, it probably will affect employment here. So let's please just. If you stab someone in the eye, because I'm not going to say don't, because I can tell you right now, you come up at my house, there is nothing off the table. I will tear your ass to pieces with whatever I can find. But just make sure it looks like self-defense.
I'm not as crazy as I used to be. I'm still crazy enough to take an eye.
If anybody watches Vikings, man, I think JP would be Floki. I really want you to watch that show. Now, granted, I think Floki has some kind of mental illness because he does have like little tics and things that he does. That's not you so much the quirky part, but I definitely think that you would be Floki.
Right.
You kind of look a little bit like him, too.
A little bit like him?
If you had like some black eye makeup. I mean, Floki's got a sick look. He puts the makeup under his eyes and runs the line straight down and straight up.
I'll go get some shoe polish from the house, and we'll see what we can do.
Let's Floki you up.
Let's do it.
Maybe just go ahead and do that tonight before, homeboy gets to your house. And then when you open the door, you can just be like, the gods have decided. And then that's when you stab him in the eye.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. We'll keep you up to date. If you're hearing a solo podcast tomorrow, just know that, or if you don't get any podcast, just know that JP probably got, things went awry. He probably called me. I got up there and things might have went even more awry. I don't know. Maybe this dude's just a total badass.
We shall see.
But all right, we'll catch you tomorrow. Don't forget, Thursday is our mail call podcast. I'll tell you what, you got a chance, last minute mail call. If you didn't get to put one on the last one, we'll save you a trip to that video. Put it in this video. Just hashtag it mail call in the comments section. If you have a question for us, ask it. We love answering questions.
Yeah, we love it.
And we will be answering that tomorrow for our weekly mail call. Again, if you're new to the channel and you haven't already, what are you waiting on? Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell beside the subscribe button so you get notified every time we upload a new video. We do at least 2 or 3 a week. I mean, minimum. Some weeks we get 4 or 5. Yeah. It just depends on what's happening. But yeah, so we'll see you tomorrow. Anything else you want to leave them with?
Peace and love, baby. Just peace and love. Stay savage. Don't be afraid to stab somebody in the lung.
Or the eye. I thought we were going for the eye.
Either way.
Get your Michonne.
It's going to hurt one way or the other.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm Justin.
And I'm JP.
And we're the Podcasting Dead. Somebody just knock on the door.
I don't know.